So what are you seeing your customers that take the service on board? What do they do with the time savings that they have now?
Yeah, it's a great question. Everyone's like, are we going to get fired because we can do it faster? And that's not what we see at all. We actually, there's a few key questions that we consistently see. We see, how many proposal people do you have? I have 10, right? How many do you bid on a year? Well, I bid on 100 a year. That's about 10 a person, right? How many do you wish you could bid on? Well, we wish we could bid on 125 a year, right? Or that's what corporate is pressing me to do because we're leaving money on the table. We are a fit for more things than we can bid on. And so with the technology systems such as yours, we're seeing consistently about a 28% increase in productivity, the number of proposals they can get out the door. Right. So it allows you to keep your really good people, keep the whole team, not have to take on the expense, the job searching to find the next person. And you can super empower your own team that they can do the same amount of work, but get 25 more out the door a year. And also the thing that's even harder to calculate though, is how much more time they get to win to make it compelling. And you're going to see win rates go up. And we see those shift from about 1 to 13%. If your win rate doesn't go up, but you get 25% more out the door, right? You're winning more business still. Your bottom line revenue is still getting hit. So we don't see people fire. We see people go after more proposals, right?
Yeah. We're seeing exactly the same trends as you just mentioned there, just increased volume of proposals that they can now address, as you mentioned, not leaving money on the table. And it's going to be interesting to see how those win rates are impacted. We're tracking that right now. And it obviously takes time to build a solid database of statistics there, but we're seeing exactly the same as you, increases in those win rates because people have more time to really focus in on the quality elements of what they're doing, put out a much better proposal in that process, but also invest time in the content that goes into their libraries and more time that they maybe had in the past to make sure that that reusable content that's feeding the AI, that's forming part of the proposal process is really the highest quality, the very best content that's going to drive that ultimate win as well.
I'm seeing another macro market trend that, is hitting a lot of companies right now. So we're seeing across the board, a lot of companies have RIFs, right? So reduction in force. And those are just hitting every division. So nope, you're going down by 10%. Like, wait, you want me to bid 125 next year, not 100, and you're taking away 10% of the people. We know in the industry how this can snowball, right? Because then you're putting more workload on the great staff that you were able to retain. Then they start quitting, right? Going to other different venues or avenues or finding different employers. So this can snowball really quickly and start affecting your revenue. So that's where we're seeing technology pick up the gap of when they're forced reduction, or we're picking that up with the draft proposal packages to keep that workload light enough that they don't lose their core team, right? So those RIFs are hitting real people's lives. They're hitting real people trying to make it their kids' soccer games, real quality of life things, relationships, right?
We agree with that. We had a customer, one of our early adopter customers, talking about the impact on people's lives. They shared with us that they received this very technical proposal, 2 p.m. on a Friday afternoon. Yeah. Right? And typically they would have had to work that whole weekend to put that document together. It was a $12 million bid. But with AI, they could actually do a lot of that early work in about 1.5 hours and essentially won back their weekend, right? For themselves personally, won back that weekend, still won the business, but just shrunk that time down substantially. So I like the point that you raised about it impacting people's personal lives as well, because a lot of what we hear from the bid management industry is just how much bids and proposals impact their personal lives, how they're pulled on to work crazy hours at crazy times of the year. This has a real impact on that as well.
That draft DPP package is interesting, and it was born of, I was in Barcelona, and we were sitting there, and someone's like, well, I need 20 pages on this topic. Like, what do you think you can do? And I sent it back to the States, and one of the people from our team cranked out the 20-page draft in 13 minutes, right? Wow. And you weren't going to turn it in, but the research was there. The content was there, right? The draft was there, probably 16 hours worth of work, right? And that's how real it is for people.
Yeah. No, it's fantastic.